Hello and welcome to MGP397. I'm Kevin. With me as ever, there's Sheepdog, Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
It occurs to me that because it's been many years now since we've all recorded in the same room, you were never part of this, Pab. This was before your time. But since the three of us sat in the same room as each other recording, you might not realise that for the last several years, when I do the hello and welcome to part, I always wave my arms around in the air as I'm doing it. And I don't think I ever did that before. But my arms are everywhere. I feel like there's a beat to it and I have to have my arms going in the right place as I'm doing it. I'm glad we don't do these podcasts on video because I'd look like a Blanca.
Well, when we used to do it in person, you used to have to play the theme tune as well, didn't you? And we'd have to sit there. We'd be chatting before the show. We'd say we're going to start, and then we'd all just sit in silence, not even looking at each other through the theme tune. And just, this is never ending. And then
I don't understand how we've made it nearly 9-10 years into this podcast, whatever it is at this point. We've got a 35-second intro song. I know we've talked about this before, but my word, what were we thinking and why are people still listening? 35 seconds. What are we doing?
You just paid money for it very early on. And
it cost us like 70 quid.
Why? And I'm pretty sure, Kev, that it explicitly says in it, don't use it on a podcast.
I know nothing about that.
That's haunted me for 10 years. I feel like getting that off my chest has just released my soul a little bit, but I'm pretty sure
I don't think it says that.
I'm sure it did. I'm sure you basically said, I bought us a jingle, showed me how much it was, and I said, I'm not giving you half of that. Like, I didn't tell you to do that, you lunatic. And you were like, it's all right. And then you messaged me going, I'm pretty sure it's against the terms and conditions for us to use this on a podcast. And I just said, you've paid for it now. And there we are. Bit of history for people there. That's why it's not a ringtone for all those people who asked us 8 years ago to start selling it on the ringtone market thing. And we just said, chop it off the podcast and do it yourself because we don't own it.
People still buy ringtones these days. I can't remember the last time I even customised a ringtone on my phone. For at least the last 3 or 4 phones, it's just been whatever one was on there when it came out of the box.
You made me feel a little bit boring the other day because I realised when you were showing off your backgrounds and your new widget layouts and whatever that I have the default background, the default ringtone and the default alarm, and I have done for like every iPhone I've ever owned. So, yeah.
I have the default wallpaper. I don't change that. I make a point of not changing it because I think it's cool to just... up until recently, up until I got my portrait monitor, I always had the default Windows backgrounds as well. But now I've got an ultra-wide portrait monitor. I'd have to be... Only an unhuman could not make that a picture of a giraffe when it's a really tall monitor. So I have a giraffe who just sits there looking at me from the middle monitor now. But otherwise I'm standard.
On my Mac, it's a frog because my son made me change it. But I just go with, whatever space background they give me. So I don't know. I'm assuming people still buy ringtones or make them.
I imagine Pab's got ABBA songs as his ringtones and stuff like that, haven't you, Pab? You're a big ABBA fan.
No. I don't know what I've got. You're making me have to go and have a look now.
Everyone phone Pab. His phone number is...
Do I have your phone number, Pab? Which I always message Kev via text, but I don't think I've ever texted you, Pab. I probably do. Bit of a sidetrack. All my colleagues have ringtones.
Pab, give the man your phone number now.
So
on the podcast.
There must be a thing.
I bet Anna has a customised ringtone because she's a girl.
Is it Christina Aguilera?
I don't actually. I do have this weird thing now though because it rang the other day and it went, Mandy, social worker. I was like, how do you know?
Surely that should just go, oh, Mandy.
That's so weird.
Okay, Mandy.
Well, it's Simi telling me he's calling. And I was like, no, turn that off. That's weird. Oh, that was so strange. I was like...
Were you wearing your earphones at the time?
Oh, possibly.
Yeah, because it does that through the AirPods. That's a setting of the AirPods rather than the ringtone. So if you've got your phone in your pocket, you know who's ringing, so you know have to answer without having to get your phone out.
If someone had a gun to my head and told me, guess what Anna's ringtone is, I'd have probably gone for Christina Aguilera making those weird dolphin noises she used to make.
Weird?
Which one used to?
Does she still do it? I haven't heard her.
She did the new songs
ruining
from
songs since the last millennium.
But yeah, I'm shocked that your phone doesn't just go, ah, or whatever the weird noise she makes is.
No.
I can't hear a dolphin without thinking of Genie in a
The
bottle.
thing is, though, if I did that, I would just sit there and listen to the song. I would never answer, so I can't do that.
I did see, people do that.
Yeah.
I read someone saying they were out shopping and someone's phone went off and they just got their phone out, sung along, and didn't answer the call, and then put it away. And I thought, that's brilliant. That's so good.
So, how are we all anyway? After that, I don't even know how we got onto ringtones.
I don't either. Good. It's been an interesting week. You're moving away, and my parents are now moving here.
Are they taking
I
over
can't-
this house?
I mean, I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, Sheepdog. I can't stand your parents, and if they're going to be, if they're coming here, I've got to get away.
So that's an interesting one because it's literally the timings are pretty much bang on. You said you're moving end of October. I'm pretty sure they're moving here start of November. So you're just missing them by a week. That's so
they're
funny.
moving into our house.
Do you know what? I almost sent them that way, and then I thought, no, that needs burning first. They need to clean out that toilet we were discussing before.
There is no toilet. It's a pantry. Stop pooing in my downstairs food storage.
You admitted pre-show that Anna has never been in that cupboard,
Yeah,
and you
because
haven't
it's-
opened it in 8 years.
Because it's just full of junk, and I don't go in there.
But behind that junk is the toilet that I urinated
I don't believe
in my
there is a
first time in your
toilet.
house.
If there is a toilet in there, my ex-wife, you kept that to herself and never told me about it.
Well, that's not beyond the realm of possibility, and
Because I don't think I've ever been to the back of that pantry.
Oh, Lord.
I am convinced that it was a white room with a bright light in it and a toilet. Even if
That was my torture room.
If there's not a toilet in there, I was abducted by aliens wandering into your house to use the loo at your barbecue. That's the only alternative. It was so
I
bright
was at
and
the
clean.
barbecue.
No, not that barbecue.
Oh.
I'm talking about the barbecue where, like, Kev said, I'm having a barbecue, and I just turned up at his house, let myself in. Like, I was invited, but I didn't knock. I just opened the door and walked in. And
That's why we changed the locks.
And then while we were eating, I just nipped off to the toilet in his downstairs toilet, and I don't know where
Of which
it was.
there is not one.
Yeah, but I'm convinced it happened. I'm convinced I did it, and I really don't know where I weed.
Had
but
you been drinking that day?
yes,
Of course, he's Sheepdog.
I was probably drunk when I turned up. That's why I let myself in. But yes, it's been an ongoing thing for over a decade, and Kev's never opened the door to prove me wrong.
Because you told me you weed in there.
Yeah, but the fact every now and again you mention in passing how you've never been in there and you don't know what's behind the junk and all of this, and I'm thinking, your wife moved out 6 months after that, and you might have she might have stuck junk in there. I've stuck some junk in the bathroom, and you've been like, what's she on about? And you've gone upstairs, there's nothing there. She's gone. You've not spoken to her since, I imagine.
It is entirely possible that I never noticed there was a toilet, because I, certainly until she moved out, I didn't go in the kitchen much. So there is a possibility that she'd maintained her own private toilet for 10 years.
Because, like, if Pab said to me, Sheepdog, Sheepdog, I don't have a downstairs toilet, I'd be like, all right, Pab, I believe you. And if Anna said, like, I don't have a one, I'd have been like, all right, Anna, I believe you.
His impressions are spot on, by the way, spot on.
But, Kev, of all the people I know, of the hundreds of people that I know, you're the only person I'd be like, I am right, I am correct, and that man is going to eat humble pie when he clears out his house, and he's just like, oh my God, this toilet's pristine. There'll be like these perfectly clean white tiles and a full mirror, and you'll be thinking, I could have spent hours in front of this mirror, I could have spent hours on that toilet, and you'll just weep. And you'll apologise, and it'll be the only time in our entire friendship you'll apologise, because you'll be just
Actually, what I'll do is I'll drop trowel, do an enormous poo in it, not flush, shut the door, and then say, no, never saw a toilet in there. And that'll be my little present to the next tenants when they discover the toilet on their last day.
You should come to our new house. We have 4 toilets.
Yeah, I'm going to use them all.
Well, that depends. There's going to be a permission system on the toilets. Only certain people are allowed to use certain toilets.
I'll somehow find the one in the garage, and you'll be like, there isn't one in the garage.
There isn't even a garage.
I'm like, why were there cars everywhere?
This is going to be the new thing. You come round, you look round our new house. I like the garage. There is no garage, Sheepdog. Where were you? Whose
not my
garage
fault.
were you in?
Aliens abduct me every time I come around your house. That's what the news story will be.
Wow.
Goodness me. It does mean there's likely to be a little bit of disruption to podcast stuff over the next couple of weeks. I don't know when exactly. I mean, these two, there's no excuses for Sheepdog and Pab. They're not moving. But me and Anna are probably going to have 2 weeks off at some point in the next 4, maybe even longer, depending on how long it takes to get internet up and running in the new house and how early we pack up our kit in this house. Not necessarily Anna's kit, but my office, as soon as I've finished recording my last FM20 series on YouTube, youtube.com/Lelujo. Make sure you subscribe, boys and girls. If you didn't know I did that. As soon as I've finished recording that series, I'm packing my computer and office and everything away. So that it might be that I finish that on a Wednesday, so we end up missing 3 weeks of podcast. But we'll see. We'll see.
There's nothing to stop us driving up to Pab's and recording in his bedroom.
Well, I was planning on being up in Pab's later on this year anyway, but the autism show that I was speaking at is now cancelled. So I need a new reason to go and visit Pab, because he did say I could stay in his bedroom.
Pab, last time I checked, we're less than 6 people.
That is true. As long as we're not doing this on body mass, we are less than 6 people.
Well,
I think this is it.
Wow.
Because the thing that we've got, the worry we have, you're right, there's no reason why Pab and I can't record some shows during this
and we will.
period.
Don't worry, we will.
I'm not recording episode 400 though, Pab.
It needs most, Sheepdog.
But episode 400 is a milestone episode.
You better pull your finger out, don't you?
Episode 400 will be the toilet reveal. That'll be it. It'll just be, well, I found it, flush, and it'll be that. That'll be the episode. And then we'll move on. We'll be back next week. Recorded on my phone. Be a Vine exclusive, like the old days. Right, are we going to talk about video games anyway? Because FIFA 21 came out this week, or it hasn't officially come out. It's out on EA Play, formerly known as EA Access. On the 10-hour trial, it's out for nerds who overpaid for it on Tuesday, and then weirdos who didn't overpay for it have got access to it this time next week on Friday. So I've put rather a lot of time into this already. I've made an exceptional video comparing their new career mode to Football Manager, which has been such a hit on the old YouTube today. And it's basically what they've done is tried to copy Football Manager and failed so spectacularly. I feel a little bit sorry for him. I've never felt sorry for EA before, but they've taken. Do you remember many years ago, Sheepdog, on Football Manager, where they didn't have the 3D engine and you had to use the 2D dots from above?
Yep.
Of course you remember. They've brought the 2D dots from above into FIFA in manager mode, where you can now, rather than playing the games yourself when you're doing career mode as a manager, you can sim the matches and watch them as dots from above. But rather than it being dots on a pitch and looking good, the way it does on Football Manager, they don't try and make it look like a football pitch. It's still a blue or bluey purpley, like Football Manager purple, a Football Manager purple background with a pitch that takes up maybe a quarter of the screen rather than the whole screen, because they've got to get all the advertising all around the place, all around the different corners of the screen still. And then it's graphically not very good. The player names don't show up. It's difficult to tell when you scored a goal or not. There's no text commentary to go with it. So my team scored a goal, but I didn't get a goal for it. And I had to up the slider for the game audio to listen to the game audio for them to explain to me that the goal was disallowed for offsides. It didn't show me anywhere on the screen. And it's just rubbish. It doesn't work. The one thing it's got going for it is on this manager mode, and this makes a mockery of the whole thing, because on this manager mode, at any point while it's simming a game, you can press a button to jump into the game and take over control of the players. So if you're like 2-0 down with 20 minutes to go, you can jump in, score 3 goals, jump back out again. So it's absolutely not about how good you are as a manager. It's all about how impatient you are and how quickly you jump in, score your goals and jump back out again. So it's a mess. It's a mess, bless them.
Why don't they have, like, the actual games being played, or do they? Is that an option? Can you just watch the game be played? In
No,
the manager?
you can only watch it as the dots from above.
Surely that's more code for them. They could have just had computer v computer take over.
I don't know. I guess it's because when you because a game of FIFA takes like 15, 20 minutes. So if you're not controlling that, that's pretty boring. Whereas when you're doing it as the dots, you can up the speed and it doesn't feel weird. So when you're simming a game, it takes maybe 5 minutes. So I guess it's to get through the matches quicker if you're simming, because no one's going to sit there in manager mode controlling nothing, just watching a game of FIFA play out for 20 minutes. So I guess that's why.
That's the closest you could get to a real sim of like watching them run around. But surely they could just skip and do highlights and stuff like that, like Football Manager does.
Guess, but then it gets even more Football Manager-y, doesn't it? I guess, I don't know. It's certainly playing through, because I've not played FIFA career mode in about 10 years, so I missed the update they did a couple of years ago when like contract negotiations and stuff is all done Mass Effect style. So I went into a contract negotiation today, and there's Jurgen Klopp sat on the other side of the desk from me. It wasn't Jurgen Klopp, it was whoever Aston Villa's manager was in this one, because I had Jack Grealish sat one side, his agent next to him, the Villa manager's knocking about the place, and they're all just having a chat with me. All right, Jack Grealish, I'd like to sign you for Chelsea, please. He's just silent, looking at his agent. His agent calls it, the lad wants £70,000 a week. Well, sack your agent. He's just called you the lad. Call it. But it's all playing out, and it's terrible graphically as well. I know people mock Football Manager for the lack of any kind of graphics, but at least Football Manager knows what it can and it can't do, and doesn't try and do stuff like this. FIFA it genuinely looks like EA have taken the conversation engine out of Mass Effect, and this is probably what they have done, pulled it out of Mass Effect, plonked it down in FIFA, said, make them look like footballers. And you have the same, like, wheel to choose your responses and stuff. And all it does is makes contract negotiations take forever. And you're watching this awful animation play out. And I'm glad Football Manager know where their limits are and don't try and do all this graphical wizardry that EA think they're doing to try and compete with FIFA, because having experienced it for a couple of hours playing through a little bit on the career mode, it's absolute poppycock, and I won't be back for another 10 years.
EA are weird for the amount of like stuff they harvest from their other games. I've heard the same, like the sounds they use in games like Tapped Out are the same sounds they used in games like SimCity, and like office sounds in any game with an office in by them. I think I know I've spoken about this before, but a band I really like, an indie band, they're like quite small, but they did a song for Sims 2, and I heard it in SimCity, and I messaged them about it, and they didn't know that they'd been put in it, so they got in touch with EA and demanded a load of money out of them. So now I'm always like EA games, I'm thinking, I wonder what band they've got on this. Like, I go check their stuff. So if FIFA have any bands playing at speaking in Sims language, it'll be this band. They did a song for them in Simlish, whatever it's called. But EA's reuse of code and functions and stuff doesn't help their case, does it? Like what you've described sounds horrific, and not, you can guarantee it's just taken from the likes of Mass Effect, definitely.
The good news is, though, for anyone who's now thinking, I won't buy FIFA this year then, Ultimate Team's still awesome. It's always been awesome. It's still awesome. And I'll just play a lot of Ultimate Team like I always do and ignore that the rest of the game is there. FIFA 21, boys and girls. Who knew?
I have a question.
Tab, would you like to ask a question?
I have a question, yeah. So what's it actually play like? Is it exactly the same as it the previous season?
From what I can tell so far, I've only played 6 or 7 actual games, and it feels pretty similar. I still can't really defend, which I've never really been able to do, so defending is still a problem, and shooting and stuff seems fine. And right. This guy called Mbappe who seems quite talented. I recommend people look him up. Even Anna's laughing at that. My word.
Okay. I think I might just hold off on this until I'll leave it till Christmas. Then it'll just drop in price, won't it? So I'll probably wait till then for it. Really, I'm not in any rush.
Yeah. Well, if you've got EA Play,
I don't.
If you'll have it on Xbox though in November when it comes to.
I don't have Ultimate.
Do you not?
No,
well, it's time you got Ultimate, you monster.
I just have the PC one because it was $3.99.
Is this on Game Pass yet?
No.
Not until November.
I'd asked that like 3 times and realised I was on mute because I was hiccuping. It's like I'm chatting away about Mbappe and everything, and I'm thinking, why are they ignoring me? But I was hiccuping away in mute. So yeah, not to November. Is that when their whole deal comes in?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Gonna make a reminder. I haven't played FIFA in, I don't know, whenever you made me get it a while back.
Don't even remember when that would be.
It would have been like 8-9 years ago. So yeah, I'm probably similar to you, but I've not played any of these. It'd be quite cool to get back into it though. I suck at games.
You monster.
Certainly do.
I've just logged into the EA web app, the FIFA web app, and apparently my account has been blocked from the transfer market due to breaking our rules. Check the email associated with your EA account for more information. I'm trying to check the email. I can't find out why I've been banned from doing transfers in Ultimate Team, but this might have just killed the game off for me completely.
Wow.
But I've got no email saying why I've been banned, so I don't really understand why I've been banned.
They heard you talking sass about it a minute ago.
Yeah, they might have done.
Straight outright.
This is why we shouldn't have done this podcast live. We should have pre-recorded
In front
it like
of
all
EA
the
from
others.
their
I know.
offices.
Curse you, EA! But yeah, I've not got an email from them, so I'm hoping it's just a glitch. But I can't log into the game and check because that would involve me using up my 10-hour trial. So I don't want to risk doing that. So I'll sit here now until the end of the podcast, occasionally refreshing the web app, trying to see if it decides to let me do transfers after all.
That's going to eat you alive for the next hour, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to see you next week, boys and girls, and I'm just going to I'm going to go and deal with this.
On the topic of me sucking at games and being terrible at everything, I completed Spider-Man this week, which was absolutely fantastic. I loved playing it so much. What a fantastic game. Around Wednesday night, I had a revelation, an absolute shot in the arm that improved my ability at this game tenfold, maybe even 11-fold, dare I say it.
Yeah.
Now, I got attacked by the Taskmaster, and he absolutely annihilated me. And I just thought to myself, how's anyone ever going to do that? Like, I threw literally everything I had at him, and he only hit me a couple of times. And I just thought, to get past him, I'd have had to have just jumped off and hid, and then come out every now and again and attacked him. And then I was doing another mission, and I just thought, these are getting too hard. Like, it took me something like 9 attempts to do this bloody base attack thing. It was absurd. Doing 6 waves of this is impossible. And then I Googled, can Spider-Man heal himself? And it was like, yeah, if you press down, it uses some of his focus to heal him. And I tell you, I could not believe it. I could not believe
that tells you that right at the start of the game.
It's like I was like 60% of the way through the story. I mean, I only had to go and kill the bosses, basically. And my word, it was easy because I was able to heal myself.
Wow.
I learning that information scared me a little bit because I thought if I now find out there's an achievement for going the entire game without healing yourself, I'll be very disappointed that I basically. I mean, I went and just I essentially worked through the. What is it, like maybe 6 bosses that kind of end the game?
Yeah.
And so I only learned I could heal and went and did them, essentially. Couldn't believe it. But I had so much fun. What a great game. I'm going to go and do more of I'm doing the little research tasks where you go and cure fish for a fish flu or whatever they had, and I caught all the pigeons, and I did all of the challenges and that kind of thing. And I'm just going around completing areas now. I'm contemplating. This is probably the third time ever that I've considered buying the DLC of a game. I was reading through them and I was thinking it's 15 quid for the set, 3 of them. I think it basically creates 3 new bosses by the looks of it. Yeah, I could play them. They look all right. I might do it. I was thinking, Kev sent the podcast wages over. That's just about enough that I could cover it. It's so good. And I think if I play that, by the time I finish them, it'll only be a couple of weeks before the Miles Morales game's out. And that's that. I'm very excited about that now. The only problem I've got now is I'm debating whether to go and play like Red Dead, which is not a similar sort of game, obviously, but it's not too dissimilar. It's a lot of kind of it's the similar functions of aiming and kind of firing webs, firing guns, that kind of thing. It's the same open world, going around doing what I want while the story unfolds if I hit a mission. But I was sort of weighing up whether to go and play that and do another 60-hour slog in a game, or whether to go and do Final Fantasy in between and just complete that in another 10 hours. But I'm sort of conflicted on whether I want to just jump straight into something heavy, keep going with Spider-Man until I've got every inch of it, or what now. But I don't know. Thoughts on that, maybe? Anyone?
Okay, so
I will play Red Dead.
Sheepdog.
Yes, Pab. Yes,
Okay, so didn't you say that Final Fantasy was making you sick?
It was, but I've completely rearranged my room since then.
Okay, so that might be worth another go.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because you can knock that one on the head probably if it's going to keep making you ill. But
That's what I thought. I'm at, like, I found the kids that were standing in the Ares' hometown. So I just thought I probably need to go back to Avalanche, do Wall Market, and then go in the Shinra building. That's my guess. Assuming they haven't added loads of filler into that. I've got, like, 2 or 3 parts of the game left. But, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I load it up and it makes me violently ill, I'll probably go back to Red Dead. But I was doing... Do you know what? I got probably 75% of the way through this game. I was on the last MJ mission where you go into Oscorp's, like, hidden room in the back of his mansion. Back of his penthouse, sorry. And searching his penthouse for Harry's leaving date, I suddenly got violently dizzy and ill. I felt so sick, and I thought, I'm nearly done. Once I've opened this door, I'll save it and I'll turn it off. So I kept pushing through, and again, Claire was like, why are you bothering? Just turn it off. It's obviously making you feel sick. And I was like, I need to finish it because this seems like a good point to save the game and finish off the rest tomorrow. And I kept going, and it took me hours to recover. I don't know what it was about the searching the room and how that was the one bit I felt was overly long. It was a bit silly. She was like, there must be a key here somewhere. Oh, I wonder if I can find out what day he left and all of this. And I was just like, oh, MJ, for God's sakes, just let me guess the code. It's a date. I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? It can only be like the year was 2018. It can only be 01, 02, 03, 04, 05. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a date, for God's sakes. You can probably guess which 4 numbers it is very quickly. She's not a very good friend or a very good detective, is she? But it's, it very, very much made me sick. So you're probably right. Final Fantasy might be a no-go, but I'd love to complete it. And I don't know. Like, I feel like with Red Dead, I'm guessing it's like the previous one, that you can kind of crack on with the story as much as you want, or do other stuff if you want. Because I used to get bogged down with trying to do everything. Like the moment it popped up, I'd go and do it. But with Spider-Man, I got into a nice routine of I'd push through the story some nights, and I'd just hunt pigeons and find backpacks other nights. And it kind of depended on whether Ollie was in the room. If he was in the room, I made the mistake of I walked into a cutscene and a guy shot himself, and luckily it didn't show anything, and I had to like jump in front of Ollie and be like, no, don't look at the TV. And there was like probably 2 moments where it was one time he just hid because he got a bit scared because it was a bit like haunting. But yeah, the shooting one, I was like, oh my God, I didn't mean to go into the mission. It just literally started a cutscene, and it was Rhino turned up, I think, and he got a bit worried, but I sort of shielded him from it. But I thought Red Dead's heaving with that. He's not going to be able to come anywhere near me while I'm playing that. I think the last time he tried to come in while I was playing it, the KKK turned up and started trying to kill me. And I was like, get out! You can't watch this! Whereas Final Fantasy, it's a bit more like, yeah, you can come in. They're just weird monster things. There's not really anything gory going on here. I don't know. Let's see what happens. I want to get them all done. That's my target, to kind of finish the big games I've got, and then hopefully I'm sort of trying to figure out whether I can like stack the PlayStation 4 or 5 PS4 games that are quite high end, a load of Switch games that I've literally never played or barely played, or just, Nintendo games seem to hold value. I think if I can stack all of them together, I might be like 3/4 of the way towards a PS5, and if I am, then that's quite a good place to be in, isn't it? I mean,
you know how we could get him the rest of the way towards a PS5, boys and girls? Those podcast wages we were talking about before. Let's go earn him a few more of them, shall we? There you go, Sheepdog. A little bit closer to getting yourself a PS5.
That was very, very smooth. Yeah.
No idea what we were just trying to sell, but I hope you all bought some of it. Sheepdog needs a console, for goodness sake.
It does creep me out. We have no control over that, and it could just be putting in the most like obscene political nonsense or whatever.
Hey, Sheepdog, if it gets you a PlayStation, do you care that much?
Yeah, I suppose.
Exactly. There's a good sellout. Good work, Sheepdog.
Yeah. I mean, that has been my lot for games, just hammering Spider-Man. Really enjoyed it. I'm very glad I played it. Yeah, people have said to me, someone said to me they got to something like 78% of the game and they didn't finish it. I'm like, that's the end of the game. Just go open the door. At that point, it's like if you try and go in Doc Ock's lab, it says to you, this is the end of the game. You might want to go do some other bits. Just go open the door and finish it. It's well worth it. It was a great ending. So yeah, love it. Very good.
Those of you who've been on the edge of your seat for the last 10 minutes, I've not actually been banned. It said I was banned. I logged out of the web app, logged into the game. It was fine on there, so I logged back out of the game, back into the web app, and it's all good now. It was obviously just a temporary problem. No ban for Kev. Ultimate Team is back on, boys and girls. Hooray for FIFA! Hip hip!
You would have been really stressed out at that.
I bet he was really just messaging FIFA EA going, I didn't mean it. I love your games. Your mechanics are really good.
They are. FIFA games are great. EA are a great company. They're
that was probably
super.
the advert in the middle. FIFA's match engine is the best match engine in any game.
It's so much better than Football Manager, unless they're listening too, in which case they're better, as long as EA aren't listening.
I think it's probably time for Anna to talk about some games that aren't FIFA and Spider-Man.
Anna's just been playing Real World Tetris all week.
Guess what I have been
What's
playing
Real World
all week?
Tetris?
She's got big boxes and she's just trying to assemble things inside the boxes. That's Anna's new game.
Yeah.
Watching her try and box up all our board games. By the way, we've got a lot of board games. We've got 2 boxes that Anna's packed today that are just full of board games.
Yes.
Is that too many board games?
Yes.
That might be too many board games.
Too many. I played Spider-Man!
Oh yeah, you messaged me. There's me going, enough of Spider-Man, what have you played? But yeah, Anna did say in the week, look what you've made me do.
Yeah.
I didn't see the picture at first and I thought, if Kev's dead, I'm going to feel terrible.
No, I put Spider-Man on, I went on my second profile and I started it again. The last thing I did was I was chasing around the rubbish trucks to find my stuff.
Oh yeah, God, that's a reasonable jump in, isn't it?
Yeah.
It took me a while to get to that point, I think. I find that when other people talk about when they're playing games, they play them at a much faster rate than me, and I don't understand what I'm doing. I've always had this slight worry that I think I'm working at normal speed, and actually if you filmed me, there'd be these 20-minute pauses where I'm literally doing nothing and I don't notice them, but everyone else does. And it didn't help that I've been thinking that for years, and then I saw an episode of House where someone had that illness, and I thought, so it is a real thing, it was in House. So you're that far, but I'm pretty sure it took me like 3 or 4 days to get to that point. So now I'm wondering whether I literally just sat there
I
doing
think
nothing.
it's just, I know what I'm doing, and I've played this game before, and I'm just, like, 'cause I know if I get to a certain bit, then something happens. I think that's just because I know where I'm at and I know what I'm doing. And basically, I was doing the main story, but then every time I was opening an area, I would go around the area and pick everything up. But then I had too many points and not enough items to spend them in. So I had all these location points and crime tokens I couldn't spend, so then I started doing the story again.
It just reminded me actually why I couldn't find Stark Tower, because I thought that was different from Avengers Tower. So when Kev said, just look up, find the biggest building, I spent way too much time. That's probably why it took me so long. I spent too much time looking for another building other than Avengers Tower, and there isn't one. I had to Google that to stop my search as well.
Like, because I was going through it, it's like, it's the biggest building, you cannot miss it, no matter where you go, but it's the tallest building around. But if you don't know what you're looking for, then you don't know. But that was the first thing and only thing Kevin did in that game.
Yeah, that's all I needed to do.
Yeah, I know.
When's this set? Was this set like the Avengers have disbanded, or is this set that they're just not there because meh?
I don't know.
Because he sort of said something like, "Oh, Avengers Towers they're never around when you need them, or something like that. But I kind of missed what he said because I was faffing. I think I opened my map as he was talking, so I kind of only finished the sentence in my head.
It's probably a Deadpool style. We've not got the license for that, but we can't really not acknowledge it exists.
Yeah. You think they'd have just said the Avengers are off world or something? I don't know. Yeah. They need to make a third game where it's the Avengers in that world, that format, that New York, surely. It would be great. I mean, knowing that the Miles one's coming out soon, and again, it won't have any other Avengers in it, just seems a shame, really.
Talking about Avengers, I tried to play the Avengers game again, and I am sick to death of it. It is broken. Okay. It is doing my head in. So, I think I've got Black Widow, and then the carrier thing was in the air. Thor turned up, but I don't know where he's gone, because the cutscene ended and no one explained anything. And I was continuing with the story, and when you go into these instances, there's your main objective, but then there's side objectives, right? And there's this one where, like, one of your, I don't know, people that work on the carrier is stuck, and you need to go and help him, right? It took me half an hour to work out how to get him out. I couldn't see, like, I could see it was there because you can scan the area, but I couldn't work out how to get him out. That took me half an hour, and that annoyed me. This is in the same area. This is in one area. So I carry on doing things, and then I thought, oh, there's a chest over there. When you go to chest, you get better stuff. So I thought, oh, I'm going to do that. And I scanned the area, and basically there's a pad on the floor, and that connects to the door. For the life of me, I don't know what I'm supposed to do to this pad. I have tried many things, and I can't get into it. Again, I was on it for like half an hour, and I just turned it off because I cannot be bothered with a game when the mechanics do not work, and it just irritates me. The fact that they're not the people that I know from the films. I know they're going to be slightly different, but it's just a bit too. I know these people, but it's like someone who's trying to do like a really low budget film. It doesn't work, and I don't like it, and I am done with that game for now.
Did they try and talk like the heroes?
Yep.
Like Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, they tried to have the same attitude, and it.
I mean, the attitudes come from the comics, to be fair.
Yeah, but it just.
So, I mean, the attitudes are going to be the same, but you might try it a little bit, but they're definitely not the same. You know what I mean? They are distinct with themselves, their own characters, because they aren't. They just can't do the movie lot.
It didn't bother me that Spider-Man wasn't any of the Spider-Mans I knew. I think I'd be okay with that bit.
Yeah, but now they've changed it, haven't they?
The rest of what you said sounds like a problem.
So in the new Spider-Man, they've changed the character model to look more like Tom Holland.
Oh, have they really?
Yeah. So the one
That's weird.
The definitive edition or whatever is coming out for PlayStation 5, and I think the PlayStation 4, I'm not sure, but they've changed the character model to look more like Tom Holland. And I'm like, that's fine. They can do what they want, but why? What was wrong with the guy
now it doesn't match their own
that's
universe.
That's not the reason they did it, though. They didn't do it to make him look more like Tom Holland.
Well,
they made him
like Tom Holland.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But the reason they did it is because they wanted him to. They didn't quite feel that Yuri Lowenthal's voice, who does the voice of Spider-Man, didn't quite match the character when they did it. So they recast the person who did the.
I kind of get that. He was a little bit wisecracky and older sounding than.
Right, to me, right, he looks younger now in this new definitive edition compared to. He looks more experienced and more older in the current version. And
yeah, but he's not supposed to be high school, is he?
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. He comes across more high school in this update that they're doing.
Yeah.
And to me,
that seems mad when he has a job with Dr.
It's that,
Dr. Octavius.
And he's been doing it for 5 years, right?
Yeah,
and
that's what I mean. I don't understand why change it.
I don't, like I say, I don't personally get it either. But it's up to
for me, he just sounded a little bit like Deadpool, Ryan Reynoldsy, just a little bit. When Kev said about the wisecrack on the Avengers thing, it reminded me that that is the thing. It felt like they'd kind of hired someone to sound a little bit like that, but for Spider-Man. So maybe they didn't want that. Maybe they want Spider-Man to come across as more clean and just the naive hero. But I'm kind of, it's confusing because I've seen I was going to say 3 versions of Peter Parker in the past 2 years, but actually if you're including Into the Spider-Verse, which I was, there's another 5 Peter Parkers in that as well beyond the main one, isn't there? So it is weird. I was actually thinking about reading the comics, and I thought, actually, I don't know if I can handle having another continuity with another Aunt May and another Miles and another MJ, and just I've just, not to go too into the weeds on comics, but I've just read Doomsday Clock through, and that seems to have finally straightened out a lot of the continuity of the DC multiverse and the history of that, and the fact that there's 10 different versions of all the different heroes. That seems to have justified it and straightened it and fixed it. So if I go and read Spider-Man now and it's another version where he's not working with Doc Ock, and that, you know what I mean? It's all just a bit mad, and he works for the newspaper or whatever. It's going to just confuse my brain, I think. It was interesting seeing the way they did it. Is that a common canonical way for Spider-Man, that he worked with Octavius and the Oscorp stuff? Is that all quite standard stuff?
I think it's all, well, I haven't read much of it, but I feel like they did it's an original story, based on.
It felt like an original twist.
Yeah, it is an original story from what I can gather, based on.
Because Disney obviously didn't have any of those villains in their early ones. Spider-Man appears. It's what's his name? Was it Vulture?
Yes. Yeah,
in the film. So they went on a completely different route, whereas the old ones had Green Goblin, was that something like that? And and they did have a Doc Ock eventually. But this is just, I like this one. I think this one's been very well thought out. This is great. I'm loving it. But I'm interested. He already beat Mysterio in this one. He's not even involved. He beat him in the past. It's okay. So I'm interested to see. They mentioned Sandman. He'd already beaten him, and I just thought, who are they fighting in the Miles Morales one? Unless I suppose they're going for Miles Morales villains, are they?
No clue.
No idea.
No clue right now.
They do. So have you only played Spider-Man then, Anna?
And a bit of the Avengers.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
I played Assassin's Creed Origins for an hour. I just want an Assassin's Creed game now. When you get that I just want to play Assassin's Creed, but I don't want to play Origins. I want to play Odyssey.
When you start your new job, you'll be assassinating people around the world with a super spy.
But I don't want to play Odyssey because I finished it. I just want Valhalla now. But I want to play that. That comes out later. But Watch Dogs comes out 2 days. No, 3 days before I start my new job, and it comes out the day before I have to do my theory test. So, they need to push all the games back a year, not a year, a month.
Well, they've already pushed the movies back a year. Why not push the games back as well?
But I haven't really played anything. I'm ready for everything. I'm ready for the new in all aspects of my life: gaming, driving, job, house, place I'm gonna live.
You are just having an upgrade left, right, and centre, aren't you? Just it's a bit mad
I am
when
at the
that
moment.
happens.
Just everything is a bit, but nothing has taken my time this week. I've just been, like Kev says, playing with boxes, trying to fit things into them, and I am currently downloading the Doom on the Game Pass because why not? It's free.
Is it on there? Oh, that's
it's on
tempting.
today.
I like Doom, sort of.
Doom Eternal.
It'll make me sick. It'll make me very sick.
I bought
You
this
make me sick.
when it came out, so I've already played it before. It's very... Doom Eternal is a new one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very fast. You need to concentrate, but it's on there, so why not? I'll give it a look.
It's like the original Doom on there. The 2016 Doom.
No, I don't know.
I was going to say the original Doom.
No, the 2016
It'll
one.
probably work on an Xbox One and
The one
PS4,
that's on
yeah.
Xbox now is Doom Eternal. I think that's the new one. I can't see any more Dooms on there, but I didn't check, if I'm honest. I just saw, oh, Doom. I'll get that. I know how to play that. That's about it, really.
So how much Spider-Man have you played this week, Pab?
Oh, good question. None.
That's good. That's
I
a relief.
have been playing
honestly.
some Marvel-based game, though.
Oh, interesting.
That sounds really ominous. Was it Avengers?
Because it
by
doesn't really
chance?
count. No, I played Fortnite again.
Why?
There's all this Marvel stuff in it at the minute.
I
There's a whole new the whole new season is Marvel based, and I resisted. Basically, because somebody asked me, someone just happened to ask me saying, "Can I re-download it?" They just want a few games of it, and I was like, "Oh, right, okay, sure." So I've done a few games this evening. So yeah, it's all Marvel based now. The Battle Pass, and it's all like. Your starting character for the Battle Pass is 4, and then you get Storm and Iron Man and...
it's got X-Men in it.
It's got all the thing, and there's like a whole like mission side quests things with Wolverine where you have to, to unlock Wolverine, you have to do like these certain things to collect on the map, and there's all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to end up doing that because I want the Wolverine one, because I had credits. Okay, I didn't put any money in. I already had the money there. So I thought,
believe, yeah.
right, okay, sod it. Let's just. What else am I going to do with these credits? I can't do anything else with them. Just put it into this basic battle pass. I'll put it in there so I can access it. And but I've played 2 games this evening, and we won them both, which was bizarre.
That is bizarre.
It is bizarre because none of us are particularly good at the game.
Did they put you in with like noobs or?
Sorry.
Did
I
they
mean,
put
it
you
could
in
have been. It could have been, to be fair. But we played the game of like where you played it, Kev, and Anna. We played it where we hide until the very last second, and then we have to go out guns blazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it worked. We got 2 back-to-back wins, and I was like, I kind of just want to install it now and go. That was 100% flawless victory. We played 2 games and won both of them. Yeah.
Call that doing a Kev.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just before you crack on to another game, because you've had Marvel, we've had Marvel, I'm now convinced that Kev's FIFA run was with like Hulk and Parker, and I've gone down a rabbit hole trying to think of Marvel related footballers, and I can't stop. So, someone throw one out so I can move on. No. I was just like, there's got to be more, but I think I picked the only 2.
Yeah,
Listeners, text us some, tweet us, some Marvel related.
Text Fab. We gave his phone number out earlier on the show. Text him
I'm
to
thinking
Fab
there's
and he'll
probably
tweet.
Xavier somewhere, isn't there, or something like that? Xavier. But anyway, go on, Pab. Sorry.
So, other things that I am slowly dipping my toes back into.
Animal Crossing.
The toilet in my pantry.
Yes. Sheepdog is correct. I am slowly delving back into Animal Crossing.
No.
It's Spooktember, isn't it?
It's the Halloween event here. I'm planting pumpkins and getting pumpkins now. And there's a Halloween event coming up on the 31st or something like that. So you've got to start harvesting pumpkins and stuff. And yeah,
I disagree. I don't have to start harvesting pumpkins.
You don't have to, but
I completed this game months ago.
It's just nice to go back to. I was like, I just needed something to just relax in and not feel any pressures of playing a game and having enemies chasing me around the screen or whatever. It's just something just very...
What a sheltered life. I don't want to feel the pressures of playing this game.
You know what? Sometimes you play a game, I don't need the stress of this. I can't be bothered with it. I just want something that I can...
Usually when I rearrange my Springfield or start powering up my Pokemon.
But exactly, Sheepdog. I needed something, and I thought to myself, I've been saying to myself, like, when did the update come out? I think it was Tuesday or something. I don't know. Wednesday it must have been. I thought I need to start doing this pumpkin stuff, because if I don't do it soon enough, I won't keep up with it, and then I won't be able to do the event or whatever it is that's coming up that I need the pumpkins for.
And then they'll laugh at you at the Animal Crossing convention.
Well, I don't think there is one of them this year.
What?
No, it's all online probably. But yeah, it's all right. Like I said, none of my residents recognise me. And I was like, I paid for your house, you cheeky sod. You should recognise. There should be a photo of me up in your house.
I say that to Kev's kids all the time when I see him out and about.
They don't recognise you.
Paid for your house.
But yeah, it's all right. Animal Crossing, going back to it and just pottering about, having a look around, doing some bits and pieces, new bugs and what have you. But yeah, I will continue to just tinker with that now. Other things I've played. I finished Breath of the Wild. I actually did it.
Yay!
Can you believe it? I finished that game. It's a damn good game.
Oh, it isn't.
It's very good. It is very, very good. It helps if you have somebody literally in chat just telling you what to do. That is so much easier. It's so much easier.
That would help.
Yeah, a lot of games.
So much easier.
That could be a new business, Pab. We could just set that up. I mean, I'll be useless at it, so
yeah, so would I.
don't start
But
with me.
yeah, we need to find people who are good at the games. But yeah, it is such a good game. And like I say, I got to the final boss and Ganon, and guess what? Sweary Pab came out on stream for that one, because
disgraceful.
That is a very. I hate it when boss fights just kind of don't really telegraph what they want you to do, and you're like, and it's just caning you, and you're just getting like pretty much one shot, and you're down to like one heart. You have to keep eating to get all your health back, and then just one shot you're getting. You're going, all right, just give me a glimmer of hope of like what I'm meant to do here. And it doesn't tell you anything.
At that point, you're supposed to get YouTube out and watch how they do it.
Well, there's the thing. Someone in chat went, "You need to do parry and like you need to do parry moves." And I was like, "Who have you been watching this entire stream? I haven't done parry moves since the tutorial right at the start of the game. When do you think I'm going to remember that?" And they went, "Right, okay, stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. Close the game, reload it. Then before you do it, we'll watch this YouTube video." So I had to go watch the tutorial on how to do the parry moves and the flurry moves. And then I did it, and then I did it immediately.
Yeah,
I feel a bit better now, Pab.
Yeah.
I feel vindicated.
I was like, but there's like they were saying like, "Oh, you do. I've been doing it all the time," and I was like, "I definitely haven't been doing any of this stuff." I mean, I very early on got Majora's Mask in that game. Majora's Mask is a DLC item. And Majora's Mask works in the sense of, I don't know if I said this before, Majora's Mask basically enemies don't recognise you as a threat. So you never have to fight anyone. Ever. So all the goblins in the camps and what have you, they recognise someone there, but they're just curious and they just kind of walk up to you and just kind of look at you. So I just carry on about my business, not even attacking anybody. So I've not really fought anyone in the game. Period. Practically nobody. Only the boss fights, pretty much. So yeah, I was like, suddenly I've got to use these moves I'm meant to have been using the entire game. I was like, I used them in the tutorial, and that's it. And I was like, yeah, I got pretty annoyed. But it's done now. Will I go back to it? Probably not. No, I've done it. I'm happy to have done it. I'm glad it's done. And I still say it's a damn good game. It's a damn good game. But because of that, because I was finished that, I've started the other game that came out the same week as that game back in 2017, Horizon Zero Dawn. I've started again on the PC.
Wow.
I started Horizon again. Yeah, it is very much what it is. It's a good game. That is another good game. It's very different. There's no climbing mechanics in it. There are times I've just jumped off a thing trying to glide off things, and there's no glider in that game.
There is climbing, though.
Sorry?
There is climbing in it.
Not the same as Zelda.
Oh no!
No, not just jump, not just like stick to a wall and start going because I just kind of run up to walls and I go, oh yeah, I can't do that here. I can't do that. Oh god, these dinosaurs are chasing me now. Yeah, I'm slowly getting back into that. I've just finished the Proving Grounds and become a Seeker. So I'm going to venture into that world over the coming weeks in preparation for Cyberpunk
2.
when that comes out. Yeah, no, well, 2, yes, but I mean, I'm all prepped now for Cyberpunk now in November. I need something to fill the gap on stream of like a big game that I can be getting my teeth into. So that is the one that we've chosen. Other stuff I have played, I have been dabbling in roguelikes. Here you go. There's your bingo card for the week.
Metroidvanias were the ones, Pab.
No, I don't. That's the thing. I don't like Metroidvanias. So Anna mentioned Spelunky 2 last week. Anna mentioned Spelunky 2 last week, and Spelunky 2 came out on PC. It came out on PC this week. I didn't know about it. I thought it was out, and I just forgot about it. So it was something like everyone making a big deal about Spelunky 2 on PC, and I got all giddy and bought it. Of course I did. And yeah, it's damned hard. It's damned hard, that game. Yeah, that's what it's meant to be. It's damned hard. It's meant to be hard. And I played it multiplayer. With the Steam share thing, whatever it is that you can do, where you can basically play as two. It's like as if you're playing on their setup.
Okay.
And it works relatively fine. The issues I have with, it's very bombastic, because what happens is the camera follows the player one.
Right.
So you disappear off the screen. All you got is an arrow with your like icon on it. Your little face on the screen, little arrow at the bottom corner, going, "I'm down here." And you can move around freely. You could get in a good hiding down there. But unless player one comes down there, you're stuck.
You can't. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is an annoyance. But I mean, it is part and parcel of the game. I imagine that's how you need to have like good communication with the person to say, "Don't go out, don't move yet. I'm still over here," or whatever, But yeah, I loved the Spelunky one. I loved it. I never finished it. I just enjoyed the challenge of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like it's more of the same. It looks nicer. There's better animations. There's all sorts of different things going on. And yeah, it is one of them games that I feel like you just like die, you go again, you die, you go again. It's just like a quick restart button, and you just like go again, and because you can die infinite ways, and and it's like there is like a mousetrap kind of effect of like you knock this, it triggers that, and then boom, arrow comes and shoots you in the back, and you're like, oh, okay, the series of events just triggers, and you nothing you can do about it. It just happens all too quickly. You kind of like you're in slow motion trying to stop it all that, and you can't. It's
infuriating.
A little bit, yeah. But I've been doing that. There's like a daily challenge on there, and there's like leaderboards for the daily challenge, so everyone gets the same daily challenge, obviously. And then there's like a leaderboard for the game each day. Like I say, I've never made it. I think the first time I did it, I got to like World 2, and I was like dead. I was like, I got to level 2, not even World 2.
Yeah.
I was like just dead. I was like, oh well, that's that done for the day. Turn it off. Thank you. The other one I've been playing, which I kind of am liking more, and I've talked about it before, but it came out on Switch last week, I think, and it's out of early access now, is Hades. Oh,
I keep hearing a lot.
I love Hades. Hades is amazing. Hades is the roguelike. It is the best roguelike game out there, I think. Genuinely is. It's so good. And you are trying to escape the underworld, Hades, and you are going through each there's like 3-4 worlds maybe, and like you say, you have to fight through each area, and there's like a series of rooms in each area, and each room you get a boon from one of the gods. So it's like an item that gives you whatever it is, an attack, but a bonus to attack. So it lets you do like a deflect option when you dash or something like that. It gives you a series of different abilities every single room you go into.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, you just with the aim to progress further and further through the game, and then you die and you end up back in Hades again, and your dad's there because you play as hang on, yeah, Hades is the ruler of the underworld, isn't he? That's right. And you are playing his son, and you end up back in the underworld. You're back in the underworld, and he taunts you a bit, and he's like, "You back?" And that's the thing. There's a whole deep story in this game, and the quips and the way people interact, and they kind of like saying, "Oh, you got killed by what's the message? You should try and dodge them attacks next time." And you know what I mean? There's just certain quips and the way your character kind of gets back to these enemies, and he goes, "You ain't getting me this time." And there's just certain things that he remembers, like, "You killed me last time. It ain't happening this time." And it's very clever, and yeah, and it plays so well. It's got like it's not like Spelunker. It's like all like 2D, like side scrollerish. It's like it's more like Diablo, like the kind of like top down kind of like camera. And
I am a fan of a Diablo.
Yeah, but it plays like it's more like a bit of a brawler kind of thing. You get different weapons, and there's dash mechanics, and there's all sorts in this game. So much to it, so much depth to it, and for a game that can, like, initially you'll do runs, and you'll last like 10 minutes, and you go again, 10 minutes, and you go again, until the point where, like, each time you gain currency, and then there's certain currency you can only spend in the levels, and there's certain currency you take out with you, and then you upgrade your damage and like your revives and all this sort of thing. And you slowly progress and get more and more like powerful, and you find runs that last like 45 minutes. So you like it just kind of like takes over.
Is it like Dead Alice or Dead Cells?
It's not. It doesn't play this. Maybe it does. Yes, but it's got a camera scheme of, like I say, a Diablo.
Nice.
So yes, in certain. I think you'd like it, Anna. If I'm honest with you, I think you really would like it. It's very good, and it's been, like I say, I've had it on. I got it on PC in early access. I want to say in January or February time. And I played it a lot back then, and it came out on Switch, and I just didn't even hesitate. I bought it straight away, and I've started again on the PC. And there is cross-save coming as well, eventually. They are working on cross-save. So, yeah, it should be that should be in soon. But yeah, it's such a good game, and I would recommend that. That is potentially one of my games of the year. That it really is. That's how good it is. And that is your lot. Is everything
splendid? Mm-hmm. Well, that conveniently brings us to just about the hour point, Pab. It's almost as if you planned it. So good work,
thank you,
young man. If you appreciate Pab's exceptional planning and timekeeping abilities, you should probably drop us collectively a follow on the social media, Twitter primarily, where you can find us at MGUK Podcast, or you can find me everywhere. I wave my arm for that as well. Everywhere at Lelujo.
At RB6K. All right, Anna, I'm at RB6K.
No, I just want to know if both arms are up or just the one.
No, just one for that, obviously. I'm not a madman.
Do you not wave your hand with, like, your finger and your thumb in the shape of an L to spell Lelujo?
No, that's stupid.
Well, start doing it. You could have your other hand doing an O, and then you basically got most of it. You just have to find a J from somewhere, and you've got the whole of Lelujo spelled out. And the U.
And you. Is anyone else going to do their social media? What's going on here?
I'm at Miss Lelujo.
Ruined Pab's timekeeping.
And I'm at Pab1986 on Twitter and Twitch.
Goodness me. See you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening, folks.